So thank you so much for coming today, you guys. What I was thinking about talking to you about today was about the segments relating to the chakras. So you know, we have different, I guess you could say, tools to help to bring balance to the energy centers within you. And when we're practicing asana, knowledge of the segments of your body will help you to kind of, in a way, transform your asana practice to be chakra balancing for you. So I'll just go through the segments while we're just sitting here for a sec. So basically, if you, like, obviously your whole body, right? But you know how, like, if you say if you want to like learn anything, if you look at the whole big picture at once, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, if you like. But if you just like put it into, if you like, chunks, it makes it more kind of manageable. Or in a way, just understanding yourself like this. It's not to put it into pieces, okay? Because segments, but particularly just the word itself, is relating to being, you know, like of the whole. So we are still considering the whole all of the time, but it's also with the awareness that you know, what we see as our whole body is also a segment of the universe. So okay, each of these segments has a floor, and your feet are the floor of the first segment, because you could think of it like you know, like in a building, when you go ground floor, first floor, second floor, so on, right? So the ground floor for you is your feet, right? So your feet, and then coming up through your legs and to the pelvic floor. And so your pelvic floor is the roof of your first segment, and that relates to Muladhara chakra, which is your energy center relating to stability, security. You know, basically like your foundation for emotional security, physical security, financial security. You know, all of that really matters, right? So so the pelvic floor becomes the roof of the first segment, and it is the floor of the second segment. Okay, so that's how it's kind of go. As it goes up, each roof becomes the floor for the next segment. Okay, so the second segment is your whole pelvis. So from the pelvic floor, coming all the way up to the top of the pelvis, where the you know, if you feel on your hips, the bony protuberances of the anterior superior iliac spines. So just here, okay, we refer to that as the as is. And we also, you know, sometimes we focus on, you know, bringing of like specific equilibrium that we can do like relating to the issue of tuberosities and the as is, so you're not too tucked back or too tipped forwards kind of idea. But right today, I just want to focus on this whole area: pubic bone, sacrum, tailbone, all the way down to the pelvic floor, all the way across the whole area of the, you know, of your hips, across your lower abdomen to the top of the pelvis. Okay, so this whole area relates to the second chakra. Okay, moving up to the third segment. So the top of the pelvis becomes the floor of the third segment, and the floating ribs. So can you just feel down, like feel where your ribs are, right? Feel your ribs, and then can you feel like kind of tender, you know, under there, and all the way around to the back ribs. So it's your waist, you know, the whole of your waist and abdomen and the lower back. So this whole area, so give it a little massage, relates to Manipura chakra. So Manipura chakra is in the center of, in here, behind your navel. Okay. So the floating ribs form the floor of the fourth segment. So the floating ribs all the way up through your, can you rub through the side ribs, your whole sternum, around to your, in between your shoulder blades. And let's just rub all the way down your arm. Nice little rub to your wrist. Let's rub your hand going down each of your fingers, your thumb, first finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Okay, so you give your whole hand a little rub, and now do the other hand. So rub down through your upper arm, your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, your hands, rubbing down through each of your fingers from your thumbs going down. Give all the knuckles. You know, all of the joints in your body are referred to as sub-chakras. So it's easy to kind of feel the little joints in your fingers. Give them a little shining up, a little polish up. Go all the way down, ring finger, little finger, whole hand. Okay, so can you see how the area of the segment of the fourth chakra area, floating ribs, all the way out to your hands? It's quite a large area, right? And that's why, you know, when we bring our palms together, it's just this joining, and we can bring our awareness into Anahata chakra. So this segment, the floor is the ribs, the low ribs, floating ribs, and the roof is up to the you know, where the collarbones and the shoulder blades are. So I'm just pointing this out, this whole big area, because that's why, you know, the different postures that we practice have an effect for us quite dramatically. So like, for example, when you know, like if you do a, you know, chest opening where you bring your hands back and move your chest forwards, it enlivens you. When you round forwards, like, let's, you know, take a hold of your hands and just spread in between your shoulder blades, it helps you to feel into the back of your chest. And it's one of the reasons, and I'm just pointing this out, that it's one of the reasons that when we lay into Shavasana, we take time to like make space between the upper ribs and the upper arms. And it's just such a simple thing that you can do if you want to. It's just like, in fact, let's just do it for a little while right now. It's just with your hands underneath your armpits, just feeling the movement under the hands. You can just close your eyes. And just feeling how the rib cage expands as you're breathing in. How it draws back in as you're breathing out. This movement of air. And with your hands and all your fingers close together, so they're touching together. Just sensing, because your hands are so, you know, dense with sensory receptors, it's very easy for you to sense into your hands. Just getting the feeling for whether both sides feel equal. Like, are they equally expanding and equally contracting on the breath out, expanding on the breath in? And they may be already, but they might not be. And if they're not, can you just feel for yourself which of your hands is underneath? So which one is the underneath one? And then just take just that one out. Take that one out and put it on top. So just switch around the order. So you're not crisscrossing both hands again, you just changed one. And what that does, it just like changes the pressure. And it's this very gentle pressure that you're placing, this collection of nerves here that has an effect into your breath. And it just naturally lets the nostrils feel the breath in equally in the right and the left sides evenly, both at the same time. And then Bring your palms together at your chest and set your intention. Join together for one Om. Open your eyes. So we're going to go back to your feet. So let's just grab a block if you've got a block handy, and we're going to place the block underneath your, in between your thighs, and then just come onto your hands and knees, and we'll just move through some cat calls, and just feeling the block. Feel like you're going to kind of draw the block upwards as you lift your sitting bones. You keep drawing the block upwards as you push off the ball of your feet, and then exhale, push down into the top of your feet, and then feel like you're bringing the block still upwards and slightly forwards, and just continue that a few times. So just at your own breath pace. Then when you're ready to, we'll lift up into downward dog. If you've got socks on, it's time to take them off. So we'll lift into downward dog when you're ready to, holding the block in between your thighs. And you may like to bend your knees a little bit, or if it's fine, let your legs come straight. But I just want you to get this feeling of the block in between your thighs and kind of drawing the block upwards. And then feeling down into your feet, can you just start to let your heels go down and then lift your toes upwards? So it doesn't matter if your heels are not on the ground. Can you just start to let your toes come up a little bit? And now bring your toes down. Good. And now bring your knees down and then take the block out, and then we'll sit back onto your heels if that's okay. If this is too much, you can have your hands out in front, okay? Because I know some people find this really intense and you don't need to torture yourself, okay? So you could just sit with your hands out in front, or if it's easy, sit back onto your heels. From here, if it's fine, we're going to squat back, and you may need to grab some blocks to pop underneath your bottom, or bolster underneath your bottom, and just let your heels sink down and back. Good. Beautiful. Then coming into Uttanasana, forward bend, just again, can you get the feeling of we're just going to rock back into your heels, and see that's why you might actually want to grab your blocks, because it may be too much to have your hands down, so just please do modify. Okay, so we're going to rock back onto your heels, and then lift up onto the ball of the feet, and then rock back onto the heels and go onto the ball of the feet. Can you see how it's kind of destabilizing when you do either one? You've got to hold on a bit more, right? Okay, now can you find balance between the front and the back of your foot, and can you press both down, the heel down, the ball of the feet down equally? Beautiful. Then when you're ready, we're going to take your block and pop it in between your thighs as you come up to stand up. And I'm just going to be out of the screen, so I'm going to bob down, but I want you to just have the block in between your thighs. And then what we're doing as you're standing up is, can you think of just bringing the block forward? So if you just look at my feet, if you can see, when you bring the block forwards, towards me, see how that makes your feet roll open, so you're kind of on the little toe side of your feet. Now roll the block back, and you see how that lifts the outsides of your feet. Okay, so roll the block forwards, the inside lifts, roll the block back, the outside lifts. So now can you roll it forwards and back, so that, because when you roll it forward, keep doing it, when you roll the block forwards and back, it gives you stability. But if you roll too much one way, it's not so stable. Okay, let's just take the block out. Let's come into a forward bend, walk out, and then come to sit down onto your feet. And then we're just going to, onto your bottom, and then we're just going to massage your feet for a sec. Okay, so just rub your hands onto your feet. If you've got a ball handy, you could just do that standing up, do ball rolling on your foot. I just know not everyone has a tennis ball there, so if you don't, we're just going to do the foot massage. So we're going to just rub down from your heel to each of your toes, starting with your big toe, and give them all a big squeeze. Because what I just want to point out to you is that this idea that one of the easiest ways to balance Muladhara chakra, to help you to feel stable and secure, is to be balanced in your feet so that you're not rolling out or rolling in or tipping back or tipping forwards. But most people will, you know, like it's very common, in other words, I don't want you to feel like it's only you, but a lot of people, if you look at your shoes, you may find that you're maybe rolling out or rolling in. When we did the rocking forwards and back in the forward bend, some people may have found that even hard to even do because we sometimes have a habit so much one way than the other. So once you've done all of your toes on one foot, then we'll go to the other one. So, you know, it's one of the things that I think is so great about practicing yoga is that we start to be aware of our feet and we just take our shoes off for a while. It's amazing how many people who haven't done yoga who say to me, I mean, obviously not you guys, but it's astonishing to me. It kind of shows me how much people wear shoes all the time. Some people come to yoga and they're kind of shocked that they've got to take their shoes off. It's like as if it's like, you know, like something that they never do. It's like the problem with never taking the shoes off is that our feet lose a lot of their natural pliability, and this idea that the yogis recognize that we're actually drawing prana from the earth, and if you're blocking that with all the cement and footpaths and you know, shoes all the time, then it's like it's kind of like, you know, lose energy. And if we're collapsing in our feet in one way or the other, it's like driving a car around without any air in the tires. We know that's not good for fuel consumption. So now let's just bring your feet together, and can you really kind of get a feeling of pressing the little toe sides of your feet together, like really pushing them together? And as you're doing this, can you imagine, I mean, your feet are together, but can you imagine that you're pulling your feet out like that? So they're actually in and they're not straight and pulling out, but as if you are. So hold them together, and then can you find this oppositional force as if you're drawing your legs apart? And you can always sit up onto a bolster as we're doing this, and you can put blocks underneath your legs. So it just depends what's better for you. Sometimes this is a better option to do a version like this. Okay, and so your little toe side of the feet are together, and then imagine you're pulling the legs out. And what this does, it helps you to feel into your hips, in case you didn't notice. Releasing that now, we're going to come lay onto your back, into ankle to knee. So just laying down, bring your right ankle onto your left leg. And we're just going to make some circles with your bottom foot, and your top foot press your heel out. Okay, so you're flexing this one, so your heel's going out, and this one's doing circles. Okay, let the circles go the other way. Good, and then switch to the other side. So we're doing this to kind of give you a real feeling down into your feet and your legs, and you can kind of really like squeeze your thigh, feel the thigh. Because you notice how when the block, was positioned, that helps you to, your thighs have a huge effect into your feet. So got the feeling of that, good. Okay, so now we'll bring both feet onto the ground, and then keeping your bottom onto the ground, we're just going to drop your knees over towards the left. No, just go as far as it's okay for you to go. And can you keep your right butt down? So as you're bringing your knees towards the left, your bottom's staying on the ground, and then going the other way. So the reason we're doing this is to feel into your hip joints, internally rotating the hip joints. Okay, so when we were in Baddha Konasana and ankle to knee, we were just externally rotating the hip joint, and now this is just to internally rotate the hip joint. So that's why I want you to keep your bottom on the ground, because if you let it come up, it'll just move your back off the ground, but I just want you to keep your bottom just down. See, it doesn't matter how far your knees go to the ground. It could be just like that. Okay, but bottom staying down, lower back's resting down, upper back's resting down. Good. just to internally rotate the hips. Gorgeous. Okay, so you may want to stay with that because I know some people find that up, and then maybe internally rotating the hip joints will sit into what's called hero pose, which may mean you need to have a block, or maybe you want to lay back on your bottom again and do it that way. So this is internally rotating the hip joints, which some people find easy and some people find challenging. So don't make it too hard. We don't want to hurt anything. We don't want to hurt your knees or anything like that. Okay? Just getting a feeling of this part of our body, of the Svadhisthana area. It's funny, like, you know, Svadhisthana is relating to your likes and dislikes, and I feel like lots of these postures, people have got such like intense preferences about, they're like, no, I don't like that one. So when you're ready, let's come out of it and then just come onto your hands and knees. Okay, and we're going to move through some cat curls again. So push off the ball of the feet and feel how your sitting bones lift up, and then as you curl under, the sitting bones move under. So we'll just do that a few times. Just feel how your pelvis is moving as you're doing this. Good. And then when you're ready, we'll sit back into child's pose, pressing all the way back. Can you feel how that helps to release into your lower back? I want you to start to feel more up into the third segment of the body. But as you're holding in child's pose for a few breaths, you notice how it's such a beautiful posture for helping you feel your whole body as well as the segments that I'm talking about. Because see how as you press the top of your feet down, you can feel into the top of your feet. You can maybe sense the heels onto your bottom as you're letting your bottom sit down, feeling into your legs, to your hips, and into your lower back. Good. When you're ready, we'll come up, and then we're going to lay down onto your back again, and we'll just draw your legs up into the air. And you can make this easier by bending your knees. So we're not trying to make it too hard. Okay, I just want you to notice how the postures help you to feel these different parts of your body. So with your legs into the air, so let's squeeze your knees together, and then we're just going to make little circles with your feet. Maybe you can make it easier by bending your knees. Okay, so you don't have to make it too hard, especially if you've got very long legs, because it's more of a lever. So don't make it too hard. Make it so that you can still breathe. And then we're going to change the direction of the circle a few times. So do you see how this helps you to feel into your abs, probably? Make the circles go the other way. If it's too easy and you don't feel anything, you can lower your legs a little bit more. We're doing this to help you to feel the segment into the low ribs from the top of the pelvis, right? Make the circles change direction a few times. Okay, just change it again and again. Good, and then coming back up. If it feels easy, we can start to lower and then draw the legs up. Remember, it's easier with your knees bent, so you don't have to keep them straight. Keep a little bend. Can you feel how this starts to warm you up? Because the element in this area is fire. So you're increasing the fire when you do these postures. When you're ready, we'll just rock all the way up. Beautiful. And then we'll just close your eyes for a moment, just sitting comfortably. And can you just sense inside you, feel down from your waist down through your legs. Feel this kind of like, nice warmth moving down, the warmth of your awareness, down through your abdomen, waist, lower back, hips, whole pelvis, sacrum, your bottom, pelvic floor, down through your thighs and your knees and your shins and your ankles and your feet, and past all of your toes. As you feel into your feet, you can perhaps sense from the soles of your feet up into your inner thighs and to the pelvic floor, the Muladhara chakra. As you feel equilibrium between your ischial tuberosities and the as-is, sense of balance in the pelvis, Bring your awareness in front of your sacrum. Feeling, sensing, being aware of Svadhisthana chakra. Move your awareness upwards, like you're tracing up your spine to behind your navel. As you feel this whole segment of your lower back, abdomen, right side of the waist and left side of the waist. Right behind your navel, Manipura chakra. Gently opening your eyes when you're ready and bring your feet over to your left. Wrap your toes onto your ankle. Bring your left hand down and reach up and over towards the left. So you just really feel all the way down through the right ribs. So we're going to now bring our awareness upwards through this side of our body. And just by the way, friends, I know I may have asked you to open your eyes and you could have just gone into meditation then see how, it's really beautiful for you. All these techniques help you to be able to go into that no thing. We'll release and change to the other side. It's also, you can do these. This is a beautiful technique to help you to sleep. If ever you wake up in the night or have trouble sleeping, it's just simply just let yourself rest into experiencing for yourself the sensations within you in each of these segments of your body. So right now, it's helping you to feel into the side ribs. And can you feel the expansion as you're breathing in? Then releasing, and we'll come back and do some more cat curls. Cat curls are so amazing because you can feel obviously your whole body when you're doing them, but each time you do one, you can concentrate on a different segment as well. So for this time, let's really focus on how we're expanding through the front of the chest as we're breathing in, and how we're expanding through the back of the chest as we're breathing out. So, and also you can sense how your arms are involved, and can you feel how, so you just keep moving through the cat calls, can you feel how when you breathe in, as if you bring your hands out, that helps the expansion through your chest, but just you're keeping your hands in the middle fingers pointing straight ahead, but then as if you're bringing them in towards each other as you breathe out, how that gives you that expansion through the back of the chest. And just keep doing that on the in-breath as if your hands are going outwards, on the out-breath as if they're going inwards. And it actually kind of gives you this feeling of the energy into your whole chest and shoulders. Beautiful. That's great. And then when you're ready to breathe out, just sit back into child's pose. When you're ready to breathe in, move into Bali, and when you're ready to breathe out, move into child's pose. On your in-breath, move into Cobra, and we're going to hold in Cobra for a few breaths. And again, can you get this feeling as if you're going to bring your hands out, as if you're turning your middle fingers outwards, and squeeze your elbows in towards your body, and feel the top of your feet onto the ground, and feel like you're going to pull the mat forwards towards your feet, as you feel with your hands like you can pull the mat back towards your feet. So as if your feet are moving forwards, and as if your hands are moving back. And as if your hands are moving out, right one right, left one left. Now when you're ready, lift up into downward facing dog. So in downward dog, can you sense this evenness across the front and the back of the chest? Feel the right ribs, left ribs, the whole sternum, in between the shoulder blades. Can you feel all the way down your arms, into your hands? Feel into the webbing of your fingers onto the ground, all of your 10 fingers into the ground. Feel like you kind of push the mat forwards with your fingertips. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll bring your knees down onto the ground. Come to sit with your right leg on top, and bring your left arm up and come around. So the practice of the asana in a way so that you can feel, sense in your own way the different segments, like right now, with your top elbow going up and bottom elbow going down. And finding this balance, like if you imagine if you had x-ray vision and you could see your, like an x-ray of yourself from the front, that your spine from the front would look like a line. Okay, so we don't want it to be like this. Do you see what I mean? We don't want it to be a curve right now. So that's why you might need to go up into your bolster. Perhaps you want to bring your bottom leg out, okay, because we know that getting the foundation right of feeling into your feet, your legs, your thighs will help you to have your pelvis in level, which will help the spine to be in its integrity. And then when you do all that, that's when you'll be able to maybe start to feel more into the shoulders, rather than getting the spine to do more work than it needs to do, which sometimes we don't mean to do, but we do. Sometimes we don't mean to, but we maybe collapse into our spine certain places. So instead, can you feel this, the integrity, like a beautiful column of support that it's providing you. Top elbows going up, bottom elbows going down. Release your arms and wrap your left arm on top. And then maybe bring your hands like this, or just keep them like that. Because I just want you to get a feeling, because actually having your hands like this, you can really feel your shoulder blades. Like give them a little rub. And then if you want to have your hands like this and you draw your elbows out, let yourself feel across your collarbones and your shoulder blades. Beautiful. And then release your arms up and around, and your first fingers reaching up towards the sky. Feel the roof of your mouth lifting up. Good. And then release, and we'll change to the other side. So remember what I was saying, you want to be able to feel both feet equally. So if you feel like this is tipping you, it's better to maybe have your bottom leg out, maybe be up higher onto something. Can you feel, like actually feel underneath your ischial tuberosities. Sense where they are, right? Get them nice and even. Okay, so that then if you feel up into the as is, it's not going to tip too forwards or back, right? And then you can have this nice equilibrium between the front and the back of the lower part of the torso, so that your erector spinae muscles aren't overworking, or neither are the rectus abdominis. So take time for that, okay? And then okay, we're balanced across the chest, and maybe we'll bring the right arm up and left arm round behind. That's it. And, you know, as you're sitting here, can you feel your breath into the right ribs and the left ribs equally? You know, adjust your position so that you can. Letting the top elbow go up and the bottom elbow go down. So feel right across your collarbones and shoulder blades. Feel into the back of your throat. Let's wrap your arm on top, so it'll be your right arm on top, and just feel your shoulder blades. Give them a little rub. I like how shoulder blades don't get the attention they could. And then so either stay like that, okay, maybe you just want to rub your shoulders, or if it's fine, perhaps bring your hands around. Maybe, just see if it's okay. Just close your eyes, and if you feel like it's really intense into your shoulder, you just bring all of your loving awareness there, just like you're giving yourself a little opening into, you're just listening, because you know the throat chakra relating to the shoulders has to do with sound. So then when you're ready, we'll just release your arms around and up, and just see which finger you've interlaced in front, and then just interlace the other one in front. So you switch the crossing of your fingertips and let the crown of your head go up. crown of the head, the roof of the mouth going up, pelvic floor, grounding into the ground, just lengthening, and then gently releasing. We're going to turn across, just gently looking all the way to the side and then back to center, switching your legs, turning the other way, just softly, not straining at all. Feel balance between your chin and the Bindu point at the back of the skull. And then coming back to center and just sitting comfortably. Let's massage the base of your skull. So at the beginning of class, I was talking to you about each of the segments. I got up to the fact that Anahata is the hands, arms, chest, rib cage in between the shoulder blades, and that the collarbones and shoulder blades they're the roof of Anahata, and they're the floor of Vishuddha. And then up into the roof of the mouth is the roof of Vishuddha. So relating to your shoulders has to do with the neck, shoulders, throat, into your mouth, into your jaw. So as we massage the base of your skull, can you imagine as if because the element of the throat is space. Can you imagine as if, just let's maybe close your eyes and rest your hands down, and imagine that the base of your skull, it's kind of like a planet shape, right? Can you imagine it's just like a planet in space? And then just let your left ear just float over towards your left shoulder. And feel across your collarbones and your shoulder blades, all the way out into the tips of the shoulders. And then coming back to center and then over to the other side. Just letting your ears drape over towards that shoulder and feel across your collarbones and your shoulder blades. And then floating back up. Can you just press on with your fingers across your collarbones, go all the way across your collarbones to the tips, and then just go across the back of your shoulder, of the top of the shoulder. It's called the spine of the scap. So can you feel that sort of bony protuberance across there? So can you imagine how across and then back, that's on both sides, it's like a diamond shape, because if you think of a diamond like that, right, that across your collarbones, across the spine of the scap, it's like a diamond. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not shining bright like a diamond. Sometimes it's like this, rounded too much. So I don't want you to push your shoulders back, okay? I just, that thing where if you just bring your hand onto your upper arm, without trying to move your shoulders, just roll your upper arm out, okay? And just notice how that feels compared to the other arm. Okay, now take the other arm and roll that upper arm out. See, that's just a technique without trying to move your shoulders, because I don't want you to push that like that. Just simply letting the upper arms roll out. Okay, and then just bring your thumbs in to touch the first fingers, which creates a forearm in, but upper arm out. What that does is it helps you to feel that diamond across the collarbones and the spine of the scap, which helps you to be able to lift the roof of the mouth so that you can shine bright like a diamond. Okay? This idea of your diamond body. So as you're sitting here, okay, we're just going to, in a moment, close your eyes, but I just want to make sure everyone knows where the Bindu point is. So just feel on the top of your skull, go down how it dips in a little bit. Can you feel how it goes in a bit? Just there, just that dip, just at the end of that dip. That's Bindu. And it's one of the Bindus, but that's the one we're talking about, and chin here. So in a moment, I'm going to talk about these 2 points, okay, so that we don't want to be too chin forwards or too Bindu back kind of thing. We want to find an equilibrium. So if you just have your eyes closed for a second, your hands on those points, with your eyes closed, can you sense inwardly to feel from the inside into where your back hand is as much as you can feel into the front hand, and vice versa. Okay, and then just rest your hands down. Okay, I'm just going to rest into a little meditation. I'm going to start going all the way down through your body with your awareness, all the way back down to your feet. And make any adjustments to your posture that you want to, so that you can, for you, feel this balance within you. So this is a really powerful way to kind of connect to your intuition, that still quiet voice within, so that you can really listen in and to know what little adjustments you might need to make. Okay, so just feel all the way down into your feet. Maybe you're going to rub them to help you to feel them. You're going to visualize from the inside that you're just aware down into your feet, the soles of your feet, as the grounding, the base level foundation of the first segment of your body. Travel up through your feet, ankles, shins, calves, knees, thighs, into the pelvic floor. Feel the pelvic floor. Feel it as the roof in relation to your feet. And feel how the ceiling of the first segment relates to being the floor. The pelvic floor is the floor of the second segment of your body. So feel across the whole pelvic floor. And then sense all the way through the second segment, through your hips, the reproductive organs. Feel into your whole pelvis, your sacrum. To the top of the pelvis. Second segment relating to Svadhisthana. Travel with your awareness now from the top of the pelvis to the floating ribs. Feel the whole of the abdomen, inside the abdomen, into your lower back, to the spine, into the right side of the waist and the left side of the waist, and then inwards from your navel, Manipura. As you breathe, feel a movement in the rib cage. Feel into the space between the ribs. As you're just sitting and being aware of the movement of your rib cage as you're breathing, it's like the temple of your heart. Can you sense into your upper arms and your lower arms and your wrists and your hands? Perhaps you can that feeling of just subtly rolling your upper arms out and your forearms in, helping you to feel across your collarbones and shoulder blades, feeling into your throat center, to the back wall of your throat, the right side of the neck, the left side of the neck, front of your throat, back of your neck, right side of your jaw and the left side of the jaw. Feel the equilibrium between chin and bindu as you let your awareness move the roof of the mouth, which is the roof of Vishuddha and the floor of Ajna. Just sense behind your nose, your cheekbones and your ears, behind your eyes, sensing your right temple, your left temple, forehead, behind your forehead, into between the hemispheres of the brain, Ajna. It's pure light, this opening, radiance between the hemispheres of the brain, this pure white light between your brain and your skull. Sasraha, between your brain and your skull and through the top of the skull. Just picturing freedom and ease. Opening the door to divine consciousness, pure being. And it's flooding down through your body, all the way down through each segment of your body, filling your whole body. Presence, omnipresence. Sparkling radiance within you and all around you, an aura of light. When you're ready, bring your palms together at your chest and we'll join together for 3 ohms. This vibration within you. Om. Om. Namaste.